Welcome back, gentlemen. We are looking at Genesis chapter 2, verses 18 to 20 today. Then the Lord God said, "It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper as his complement," the Lord said. So the Lord God formed out of the ground every wild animal and every bird of the sky and brought each to the man to see what he would call it. And whatever the man called a living creature, that was its name. And the man gave names to all the livestock and to the birds of the sky and to every wild animal. But for the man, no helper was found as his complement. So God made Adam a suitable helper for him. So there are two key things about this verse. Number one, it was a helper, a help meet, somebody to help meet the things Adam was deficient in. Number two, it was suitable. Suitable, or corresponding to, a complement to correspond to him, an authority like himself, some translations say. She's not subservient. She is a suitable complement or helper to help in Adam's deficiencies. Now notice, this is not someone he is to rule over, like God commanded us to the birds of the air and the fish of the sea and all the animals of the earth. This is a helper, a suitable helper, someone whom God gave Adam to co-rule and reign over creation with. We are to co-lead with her the way that God co-leads with the other heavenly hosts. God does not force his will on others, but he is patient and loving, kind, long-suffering with them. In other words, God would rather be late to church than to force his creatures to move faster to get there with him. How about you? Now, later on, we're going to talk about how man is the head of the wife, as Christ is the head of the church. But for now, let's just stick with the idea that we are co-laborers. Before the fall, there was no hierarchy. We were co-equal before the fall. That was God's original design. And by the way, for all of eternity, we will be co-equal as well. There's neither male nor female, Jew nor Greek, slave nor free. We are all equal at the foot of the cross. So this week, I want you to be thinking about how God has made you guys co-laborers together. You and your wife, you ought to be on mission, on target, on point, working for God. How are you guys serving the Lord together, pursuing his holiness, pursuing his righteousness, leading your family, serving your kids, loving in your church, caring for your neighbors? How are you and your wife on mission together? How is she filling up the things that you lack to be a better servant of God? Now, men, as a leader in your family, one of the things you've got to do this week is you have to lift up and encourage and exalt your wife. Like the quarterback on a football team giving high fives to everybody else as they come off the field, patting them on the back for good plays, recognizing the things they do. Gentlemen, how are you recognizing your wife as a good servant this week? So here's your homework. Every day I want you to read Genesis 2, 18 to 20. And I want you praying every day about how you can encourage and love your wife this week. God has made her a suitable helper for you. She is perfect in every way. She's not a good servant for me. She's not a good servant for your neighbor across the street. God made her for you, gentlemen. How are you honoring that this week? And most importantly, how are you encouraging her in that this week? When you see your wife doing something that she is a great helpmeet for you, call her out on it. Recognize her, congratulate her, thank her, build her up. Guys, we all love it when people notice when we do good things. Find something your wife does well this week and encourage her in it. Did she make a meal you love? Tell her thanks. Tell her how delicious it was. Did she pick the kids up from school? Tell her what a blessing that is to you. Give her a hug on the way out the door this week and just tell her how great of a wife she is. Guys, I don't know. You pray about it and find some way, but try it every day this week to love on your wife. I promise you, she will appreciate it. We all like to be recognized. Recognize her this week. So next week, we're going to come back and we're going to look at the next couple verses. So this week, see if you can't memorize Genesis 2, 18 to 20. I love you guys. Have a great week. I'll see you next week.